else.
Right, so post-fight review to George Groves versus Callum Smith in the World Boxing Super Series final at super middleweight for the Super WBA title, WBC Diamond, the Muhammad Ali Trophy, and of course a boatload of cash. So first of all, congratulations to Callum Smith on a spectacular knockout. Very, very clean punch. So congratulations to him. I did pick George Groves to win the tournament, and you know what, I'm not disappointed at all that Callum Smith won it. So now Liverpool have two world champions at super middleweight, with Callum Smith being the WBA super champion and Rocky Fielding the WBA regular champion. So big up to Callum Smith for that one. Now, I didn't get a chance to do the post-fight review last night. Had family time, all that kind of thing. It's a Friday night. So I'm doing it now. Now, up and down the internet, as I'm watching the movies and that with the wife, I can see that so many people had this fight split up until the stoppage. There's so many people had it a draw. So many people had George Groves 5-1 up. Others had Callum Smith 5-1 up. So it's very, very split. For me, it was close. I think there was quite a few swing rounds. If I could be critical of both of them, I felt that George Groves was being effective to the body, but didn't utilise that enough, in my opinion. But was the size a huge factor in this fight? Maybe, with Callum Smith being, was he 6'3", 6'4"? He's a big lad, especially at super middleweight. And Callum Smith didn't throw enough punches at times. It's almost like he was giving rounds away, which is probably why they look like I know there could be swing rounds. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. The fact is, Callum Smith got the job done. He said he's going to knock out George Groves, and that's exactly what he done. And George Groves, I felt bad for him. He was devastated, literally devastated at the end there. But, you know, such is life. Quite what Callum Smith does next, no idea. I heard Eddie Hearn talking about maybe defending his title in Liverpool at Anfield, for example. Maybe look at David Benavidez, he mentioned. But for me, I thought Benavidez was suspended because of the PED found in his system. Unless something's happened since that I'm unaware of, I don't know. But, yeah. Well done, Callum Smith. I'm proud of him. He did what he said he was going to do. And, of course, this is the very first time that an event was put on in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, drop your thoughts below. What did you think of the atmosphere in the arena there in Saudi? And I'm glad that they took it to Saudi as well. It's a World Boxing Super Series, so it should go around the world, regardless of the fact that they were two Brits, of course. But as I said, I thought that George Groves, he should have went to the body a lot more. And I said before the fight that one thing that George Groves really has to look out for is that Callum Smith has a vicious left uppercut where he just pulls it out of nowhere. I mean, for a man of his size, he shouldn't be able to do that to the smaller guys, but he does. But he didn't really do that too much against George Groves. In fact, he had other tactics. And I think his tactics was to figure out George Groves. And maybe that's why he wasn't pressing him maybe as much as we've seen Callum Smith press other opponents before. But of course, this is the first huge step up for Callum Smith, and he's done absolutely marvellous, because if his tactic was to try and figure out George Groves and then catch him, well, it worked to a treat. And for a young man to work out what George Groves is doing, of course he's got his trainer as well in Joe Gallagher there, but to figure him out and stop him the way that he did, listen, congratulations to Callum Smith. I mean, could George Groves have got up on time? I don't know. I think he got hit. He went down. And I think in that moment, he realised that he was buzzed and his legs weren't working. But whatever it may be, congratulations to Callum Smith. He stays undefeated as well. And it was a ballsy move to enter this tournament for Callum Smith, because he could have took on Durrell for the WBC title prior to the competition, but he decided to end that because Durrell was messing about with the negotiations, even though Callum Smith was the mandatory. So it was a ballsy move to enter the tournament, especially with the likes of George Groves and Chris Eubank Jr., etc. in there. So he made the right decision ultimately, and he now becomes a world champion. So congratulations to Callum Smith. You drop your thoughts below. How did you see that fight up until the stoppage? And all that kind of stuff. So anyway, you drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.